Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to PMDC online lecture room. My name is Memoona and today we are going to discuss glory and hope. This is the second chapter of second unit, Hope and Aspiration. The chapter is actually a speech delivered by Nelson Mandela on May 10th, 1994. Before I start the lesson, I would like to discuss a few words with you so that you have a clear idea of what these are, because I'll be using them a lot in the lesson. The first word is racism. You all must know that African Americans or South Africans in the beginning or in the old times faced a lot of racism because of their color, because of their skin color, which was black. People used to tease them or make fun of them, and they were considered to be inferior than others just because of their skin color. As Muslims, we strongly believe that there is no superiority uh, for black over white and white over black, but there were people who faced this racism or racialism, as we call it. Now, it means the discrimination directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority. It's not important that this group is always has to be in minority. It's not that they have to be in minority, but uh, it could be an individual, it could be a group of majority from the majority people, or maybe minorities, but there are certain people who treat others on the basis of their gender or their color or their caste or creed. The second word is democracy. As Abraham Lincoln said, that democracy is government of the people, by the people, for the people. So the government that we elect should be of our choice. That is what democracy is all about. And then sexism. Sexism is partiality or discrimination based on a person's gender, which is also known as gender discrimination. Just because a person is a boy, he cannot have certain rights. Just because a person is a girl, she cannot have certain rights. So these were the words which I really wanted to discuss with you before I start the lesson. I'll introduce the lesson and I'll tell you something a little bit about Nelson Mandela, and your task is to open your books in front of you, page number 56, because I'll be taking some help from the book as well. And get ready with your pens and papers to note down all the important points of the lesson. Nelson Mandela was an activist, which means that he fought for those who were disadvantaged by the system of racial segregation. Segregation is discrimination. Racial discrimination, as I explained earlier, what is racism or racialism. After spending 27 years in jail, Mandela was awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. 1 year later, he won country's first free elections and was elected as South Africa's first black president. Now please note that Nelson Mandela was South Africa's first black president. And I also mentioned that these were the free elections. So as I explained to you the word democracy, so these were the democratic elections in which everyone voted, whether the person was a black or the person was white, from any caste or creed or color, everyone voted. And finally Nelson Mandela was selected as the first black president. This speech was addressed on 10th May 1994 by Nelson Mandela as first black president. So this is a very historical speech. Now, why is 10th May 1994 important for South Africa? Let's see. 10th May 1994 is important for South Africa because on this particular day, the first democratically elected government of South Africa was established, as I mentioned earlier. It was for the first time that the non-racial government elections were held in South Africa, because before this time the South Africans or the Negroes or the black people were not even given the right to vote, and this was the first time when they voted for the government of their choice. There's a fact that I would like to share as well, and that is that this day is also celebrated as an autumn day in South Africa, because there was the largest gathering of international leaders on South Africa's soil. This was the first, I would say, the first day, or the very first time when South Africa had this huge gathering of people, of international guests, international leaders on one platform, and who celebrated, the victory, which was the victory, which was the result or outcome of the hardships and the sufferings that the people of South Africa went through all those years. The theme of the chapter is hope and rebirth for a nation. Rebirth of what? Of their lost selves, of their lost rights, and they got that back and they had that hope. So it was, kind of a rebirth for them. I'll share the summary of the chapter, but you need to keep the book in front of you. And once you're done with this lesson, try to read the chapter, and I think that inshallah everything will be clear to you. Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa in 1994. On this occasion, he addressed many people who were a part of this celebration, that is, the distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, royal highnesses, and comrades. So, people from all walks of life were there. Nelson Mandela talked about the political and socio moral emancipation of Africans, as he was successful to liberate his people from the continuing bondage of poverty. Continuing bondage मतलब कि जो वो लोग मुस्तकिल उस सफरिंग से गुजर रहे थे, उस प्रॉब्लम से गुजर रहे थे. किस प्रॉब्लम से? Of poverty. Poverty is गुर्बत को बोलते हैं people with very limited resources or means. Deprivation, they were deprived from their due rights as human beings. Suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering, their mental health was, absolutely shattered. They went through a lot. Gender and other discriminations. So, gender discrimination was there, discrimination on the basis of color and caste and creed, all of it was there. Mandela talked about that liberty in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk together with dignity and equality. He thanked all the distinguished guests and wished that they would continue to stand by him to tackle the challenges of building peace, prosperity, no sexism, no racialism, and democracy. So it's a very short speech, not that long, but from the beginning till the end, he individually thanked everyone, almost everyone who was there to celebrate the victory, and that included all the distinguished guests, all the international leaders, the people from the army, the comrades, all of them were there. He also appreciated the role of masses of people, matlab ki groups of people, and their democratic, women, religious, business, traditional, and other leaders. So there were, people from all kinds of fields, and from it means that everyone, a representative from every field, was there to celebrate their day, their victory. He especially thanked his second deputy president, the Honorable Frederick William de Klerk. Now you can see on page number 57 in second paragraph that this Frederick William de Klerk is referred as F.W.D. De Klerk. He was the president of South Africa from 1989 to 1994, before our Nelson Mandela. And when then Nelson Mandela, he got elected, and FWD Clark became his deputy president. So you must know the full name. The full name is not given in the book, so you can have it from here. Note it down in your notebooks, because this might come as an MCQ as well. He also paid a tribute to security forces in all their ranks, which means, um, the policemen, the army officials, the majors, the colonels, everyone. He wished to have justice, freedom, and peace for all. So, this was a very short and brief summary of the whole lesson. I hope this is going to help you out a lot. There were many figurative devices, and we saw this figurative language that he has used in this speech to beautify it, you know and there are a few that I'm going to discuss over here, and then there are a few which I'm going to discuss in my second lecture in the exercise. So these will help you a lot to make people understand and develop a profound feeling for their country. He used metaphorical language relating different things to each other. Each time one of us touches the soil of this land, we feel a sense of personal renewal. The national mood change as the season change. And by all this he means that he feels love and affection for his country the way flowers bloom, love blooming season, like जिस तरह से जो फूल होते हैं उनको बहार अच्छी लगती है, when the weather is fine for them, it's spring and they love to bloom, just like that. And when similarly he feels pain, and his heart aches when his country is in pain or in trouble. So Nelson Mandela wants to say that his mood changes as the change in the situations happen in his country. जिस तरह का country में change आता है, खुशी होती है so he feel happy, दुख होता है so he feels very painful about that. Nelson Mandela means that once South Africa was a prey to the torment, dislike, and inequality of the world. So he said कि it was a prey, एक शिकार हुआ था वो सब, जो एक torment आया था, एक वो जो दुख भरा time था, एक तकलीफ थी, when everyone was against them, when they had to go through that injustice and that racism. So people from South Africa have really suffered a lot. According to him, the blacks were deprived of the rights to vote, and racial division existed throughout the country, as I told you already. Nelson Mandela says that henceforth this beautiful country will never experience the oppression of one by another, nor will it disrespect and dislike any of its citizens, because according to him, now he said, the time for the healing of the wounds has come. This is my most favorite line from this lesson. You see, um, even if you take this line, and not for this certain chapter but for your life, sometimes you go through a lot. Everyone, they go through a lot. You might be having some physical trouble, or some mental trouble, and then there comes a time when all your sufferings and hard work pays off, and you get the fruit of all your sufferings and you become happy. So this line is, I would say, for every individual, for every student, for every person, that the time for the healing of the wounds has come. So he has expressed his pain and the pain of South Africans, and then he said that those wounds, not those actually wounds zakham ko bolte hain, okay. So not those actual wounds, but the wounds of those sufferings and hardships and all that discrimination and oppression. So that time has ended now. The good time has come. अच्छा वक्त आ गया है. Therefore South Africans who were once the skunk of the world are now treated with dignity and a particular entity after the arrival of Nelson Mandela. Skunk of the world. Now this word skunk is an abusive word. Okay, it is used as an abuse, and this skunk is actually an animal who ejects a foul-smelling liquid whenever it is attacked. So South Africans, these Negroes or black peoples, they went through such troubles and problems, and they were, the people around them treated them as if they were skunk of the world, which is the kind of behavior which is just not acceptable for any human being, because whatever color they had, whatever creed or caste they had, they were actually human beings who had the right to be treated as human beings. All right, then why the people treated them as animals, or disrespected them and treated them as slaves? So he is actually showing that how they were treated before Nelson Mandela came, and the other activists and the other people who worked for their rights. So they are showing the pain, and that those words and those depressing feelings वो उसको relate कर रहे हैं कि साउथ अफ्रीकन्स को ऐसा लगता था एज इफ दे आर एनिमल्स, और एनिमल्स में भी सबसे ज़्यादा फिल्थी काइंड ऑफ एनिमल, मतलब जो फिल्थ की तरह उसको देखा जाए, गंदगी की तरह देखा जाए. So they were really in worse condition at that time. I hope that is going to help. I would really love to read the last lines of this chapter from page number 58, because I think that these lines are what this chapter is all about. Okay. So Nelson Mandela at the end he said that let each know that for each the body, the mind and the soul have been freed have been freed to fulfill themselves. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another and suffer the indignity of being the skunk of the world. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. So these were the last lines of this speech, and you can see he has repeated the word 3 times, the word never 3 times. He said never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will experience this again, because they went through all those sufferings for a very long period of time, for like decades. Okay, and now when finally they came out of it, and finally when it was their time to celebrate and be happy, and enjoy all those rights which were not given to them before. So Nelson Mandela really hoped and prayed, and he said that he would love that the people would never again feel those sufferings, और वो उस इन लोगों को इस खुशी मिलने के बाद दोबारा से उस तकलीफ से ना गुजरना पड़े. Okay, if you would like to have a look at the original speech, अगर आप इसको original speech को नेल्सन मंडेला के ही words में सुनना चाहते हैं, so you just need to type President Nelson Mandela inauguration speech May 10th 1994 to watch the original speech. और बहुत अच्छी है, it's very nice, and you will feel, but before watching the speech on YouTube, you first need to go through this lecture, then give a read a couple of times this chapter from page number 56 to 58 in your books, and then listen to this speech, and you will love it. Trust me, you will love it. If you have any questions, please do ask me through LMS, and I'm here to answer them. Thank you very much, and I hope that this is going to help you out a lot. Allah Hafiz, take care.